discuss about the uh, summary of adventure of Huckleberry Finn is a novel. So, is a novel by American author Mark Twain, which was first published in the United Kingdom in December 1884 and in the United States in February 1885. Commonly named among the great American novels, the work is among the first in major American literature to be written throughout the vernacular English. Characterized by local color regionalism, it is told in the first person by Huckleberry Huck Finn, the narrator of two other Twain novels, Tom Sawyer Abroad and Tom Sawyer Detective, and a friend of Tom Sawyer. It is a direct sequel to the adventures of Tom Sawyer. The book is noted for changing the course of children's literature in the United States for the deeply felt portrayal of boyhood. It is also known for its colorful description of people and place along the Mississippi River, set in a southern antebellum society that had uh, case to exist over 20 years before the work was published. Adventure of Huckleberry Finn is an often catching satire on entrance attitude, particularly racism and freedom. Perennially popular with readers, Adventure of Huckleberry Finn has also been the continued object of study by literary criticism since its publication. The book was widely criticized upon release because of its expensive use of coarse language and racial epithet throughout the 20th century, and despite arguments that the protagonist and the tenor of the book are anti-racist, criticism of the book continued due to the both perceived use of racial stereotype and its frequent use of the racial slur nigger in St. Petersburg, Missouri, on the shore of the Mississippi River during the 1830s through 1840s. Huckleberry Huck Finn has come into a considerable sum of money following the adventure of Tom Sawyer and is placed under the strict guardianship of the widow Douglas and her sister Miss Walton. The women had attempt to civilize him, but Huck preferred to have adventures with his friend Tom Sawyer. His father, Pup, an abusive alcoholic, returns to town and tries to appropriate Huck's fortune. When this fails, Pup kidnaps Huck and imprisons him in a cabin in the woods. To escape his father, Huck elaborately fakes his own murder and sets off down river. He settles on Jack's Island, where he returns reunites with Miss Walton's slave Jim, who ran away after overhearing she was planning to sell him. Huck decides to go down river with Jim to Cairo in the free state of Illinois. After heavy flooding, the two find a timber raft and an entire house floating down the river. Inside, Jim finds a body that has been shot to death but prevents Huck from viewing the corpse. Huck sneaks into town and discovers there is a reward out for Jim, who is suspected of killing Huck. The two flee on their raft. Huck and Jim come across a grounded steamer, the Walter Scott, where two thieves are discussing murdering a third. Finding that their own raft has drifted away, Huck and Jim flee in the thieves' boat before being noticed. They find their own raft again and sink the thieves' boat, keeping their loot. Huck tricks a watchman into going to rescue the standard thieves to argue his consciousness. Hug and Jim are separated in a fog, and when they reunite, Hug tricks Jim into thinking he dreamed the entire incident. Jim is disappointed when Hug admits the truth. Hug is surprised by Jim's strong feeling and apologizes. Hug is conflicted about supporting a runaway slave, which he has been taught in a scene. He decides to turn Jim in, but when two white men seeking runaway slaves come upon the raft, he lies to them and they leave. Jim and Huck realize that they have passed Cairo. With no way of getting back up a river, they decide to continue down river. The raft is struck by a passing steamship, again separating the two. One on the river bank, Hug meets the mm, Gangford family, so who are engaged in a 30-year blood feud with the Shepherdson family. Okay, although no more remembers why the feud originally started. After Ga- Gangerford's daughter elopes with a Shepherdson boy. The feud boils over, and all the Gangerford males are shot and killed in the Shepherdson ambush. Hug escapes and is reunited with Jim, who has recovered and repaired the raft. Downriver, Jim and Hug are joined by two confident men claiming to be a king and a duke. The swindlers rope Hug and Jim into playing along with a series of scams in one town. The swindlers scam the town's flock with a short and overpaced performance. On the third night, the gifters flee before the townsfolk can take revenge. In the next town, the swindlers impersonate brothers of certainly deceased Peter Wilkes to steal his estate. Huck tries to retrieve the money for Wilkes' orphaned nieces. Two men claiming to be Wilkes' real brothers arrive, causing an uproar. Huck tries to flee into the confusion but is caught by the gifters. Eventually, he escapes. But find that the swindlers have sold Jim to the Phillips family plantation. Huck vows to free Jim despite believing he will go to hell as a consequence. The Phillips family mistakes Huck for their nephew Tom, who is expected for a visit, and Huck plays along. It turns out their nephew is Tom Sawyer. When he arrives, he plays along with Huck's story and develops a theoretical plan to free Jim. During the escape, Tom is wounded. Jim tends to him instead of escaping and is arrested and returned to the plantation. Tom's Aunt Polly arrives and reveals the boy's true identity. She explains that Miss Watson he has died. Freeing Jim in her will. Tom admits he knew this but wanted to rescue Jim in style. Jim says that Huck's father was the dead man they found in the floating house, so Huck may return safely to St. Petersburg. Huck declares that he intends to flee west to Indian territory to escape being adopted by the Phillips family. So that's all about the story of um, adventure of Huckleberry Finn.